Alright, sup guys? Welcome to Ruin an Hour, a safe place to talk about anything under the sun. My name is Kyle Gray. I'm the host of this show. We're live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today we have a very special guest in the house again. We're so privileged to have SO Finesse back with us.
Hey everybody. Thank you so much everybody that's tuning in, that's been tuning in, that supports Avocado, that supports the show, and all the beautiful feedback that I got back from last time I was here, because it's kind of hard sometimes to talk about these things, you know? So to know that some of you benefited from it and felt something, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Makes it worth it.
Yeah, amazing episode last time. Congrats on opening up and being so courageous on your transparency. That takes a lot of courage to open up like that. So Congrats on that. So today we're gonna dive into toxic and abusive relationships. That's like a big concern, and that definitely is a big thing when dealing with addiction as well.
Mm-hmm. It's an addiction.
Yeah, it is. Totally. It's an addiction in itself. I've had a lot of experience with toxic and abusive relationships. Mostly it's from my end. I haven't been in many that it's like I'm on the receiving end. I'm usually the one doing it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. What's your experience in that situation?
I've experienced a lot of toxic people. I'm a empath, so I think
what's an empath?
An empath is somebody who feels the emotions of others.
Okay, so you're like insanely empathetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see people's how they're acting and understand where it stems from. And I call myself being a healer, or being someone that can help. And you can't help people that don't want to help themselves.
Yeah.
Or that don't even think they have a problem.
Yeah.
Who am I to feel like I need to nurture or heal you?
Yeah.
You have to come with me with what we need that's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in numerous, especially in my younger days. I think I was in my first physically abusive relationship when I was 13 years old, and I didn't know it.
You didn't know it?
No, I'm gonna explain it in a second.
Okay.
But I've been in a few abusive relationships and then toxic relationships, and I kind of want to talk to people about the differences, how they affect you, how to get out of it, how to notice you're in it, because sometimes you don't even know that you're in it.
Yeah.
And just, it all comes all the way back to loving yourself. It always comes back to loving yourself.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to that. My first abusive relationship, I was 13 years old. It was my first boyfriend, really.
Yeah.
What I thought a boyfriend was.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing back then. But I called myself loving him. I didn't really fall in love until 2 years later, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I was right front and center witnessing the problems between his parents, the financial difficulties to where he couldn't dress the way he wanted to dress, and how people would look at him sometimes, and how those things affected him.
Yeah.
Or different things that he couldn't achieve, and how he would lash out. So I was like his rock in that way. You know what I mean? I just had his back in whatever way I would have his back. He did a lot of messed up stuff in the neighborhood and different things, and I was right there with him. Mm-hmm. I was his ride or die.
Yeah.
And now I look back, that was just not how you support somebody. But when he did start to hit me, I didn't look at it in that way at first. I used to watch him beat holes in the wall, and he was the only 13-year-old I knew that knew how to redo walls and plaster the walls, because he punched holes in the walls.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the aftermath, so he would do it. He would do stuff and then come back later and fix it before they saw it, so they'll think it's
Yeah.
the same situations or something.
Yeah.
He used to lash a lot out on his cousin, and she was in the room next to him, and I remember one day she was screaming. She was screaming, and I went in there, and he was like beating her on like the side of the bed, and I ran in and I helped her, and I'm like, get off of her, like get off of her, and that's the first time he lashed out on me. And I guess I didn't think I was in an abusive relationship because he never hit me in my face. He would hit me like body shots.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how I kind of got thick-skinned per se, and maybe a little rougher because I started fighting back. So
you would hit him?
Yeah.
When he would hit you?
Yeah.
Okay.
To where I'm like this, and the only way to get out of it is to protect myself.
Yeah.
You know? And it made me a certain way. I was never afraid to get hit because I took so many hits. It was nothing. And a little girl should never have to be like that.
Yeah.
You know? Like, not afraid to fight boys and get hit by boys because you get hit by the person that you love every day.
Yeah.
You know? But being in a physically abusive relationship, and I ended up in one more, but I was older, and I got out of that fast because sometimes I'm gonna tell you about two different situations because it's different psychologies to do with that. Some people, they get in abusive relationships and it's physical, so it's more easy, like, okay, this is wrong, and get out of it, which I was able to do fast the second time. But some people, they feel that everything else is right in a relationship, so this is the 80-20 that they can deal with.
Yeah, so they're like settling, like, everything else is good.
I have a friend that he basically isolated her and would beat her. But she said that was the happiest relationship she had ever been in because of everything else that he did in every other parts of the relationship. And she became sad when she left him. And that's something that people who have been abused, rather physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, have in common.
Yeah.
They're not used to being alone.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not that you love that situation. It's that you don't understand life outside of that situation.
Yeah, it's like love addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and almost like a dependency.
Codependency.
Yeah. But the worst abuse I ever dealt with, and I really want to dig into today, is verbal abuse and dealing with people who are severe narcissists.
So that to you was worse than physical?
Yes.
Okay.
It lasts longer.
Yeah. The wounds are deeper.
It lasts longer. Because when somebody is talking to you a certain way or telling you certain things, it programs.
Yeah.
In your mind.
Totally.
It stays there for a while.
Yeah.
You can go from feeling like the greatest person in the world that can do all things to like, maybe I'm not that beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to cover up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too fat to wear this.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I shouldn't go outside, like, you know, or maybe I shouldn't look at people because they might see this.
Yeah.
And you don't even notice that you're doing it. You don't even notice that you went from to.
Yeah. Totally.
And people do that so you won't leave them.
Yeah.
If they feel like, if they break you down, because if they feel like at your best, you wouldn't want them. So they try to break you down mentally and emotionally so that then they come back and try to talk it up as if this is the best situation you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And I got caught up in a situation like that because I had a person that I thought I knew. Like, he had been courting me and chasing me like practically my whole life. And he moved out of California. And I didn't know what he went through when he moved out of California. And the person you know, how things affected him.
Yeah.
To change him in certain ways.
Yeah.
And when he came back and he's like, you the one I want to be with, and like we're gonna do this and do that, and he put me in this condo and this everything's so beautiful, this and that. After everything that I had been through, I thought I was getting my like fairy tale ending.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like, you know, no, he purposely put me in a situation that I couldn't afford without him.
Okay, so
he created a dependency.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you are a person, because he did the whole charming thing. He even courted my parents, had them all on board.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as he got what he wanted, it was a complete 360. I don't know who that person was. It was like a dark cloud. Like, I didn't even want to come home. And he would embarrass me in front of people. He would talk down on me in front of people.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of like the worst, until my son said something to him one day. When my son felt the need to say something to him one day.
Yeah.
Don't talk to my mommy like that.
Wow. Yeah.
That broke my heart.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. Because I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah.
I kind of got immune.
Yeah.
Because it kind of became my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of friends around me. Because that's another sign. Like, they isolate you.
Mm-hmm.
They isolate you from people that are healthy in your life.
Yeah.
Because those people, they only got to be around it once. And they know.
You can see it.
They will tell you.
Yeah.
So they isolate you so you're not around those people.
Yeah.
And when you get used to your life on a regular basis, this is life. You kind of like, you know, and yeah, I was plotting on, okay, what I need to do to get rid of him and to this and that. But what sped that up is my son having to speak up for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he should have never had to do that.
Yeah.
He's a 6-7-year-old child at the time.
Yeah.
He should have never had to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I still feel some kind of way about that one.
No, that's real.
But
that's super real. That was like a clarity moment, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, he got to go.
Yeah.
He got to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, he pulled the whole, this is my first situation where I let somebody really kind of play me. You know? Because I was normally on my game. But when I did have my child, I did get a little softer because I did want a family.
Yeah.
I wanted my son to have a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
So I kind of let my guard down a little bit because I didn't want to be too hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that was a big mistake because I let him set me up in a way to where I was dependent on him and then everything was in my name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my baby, and even like in my last battle, I talk about how being a single mother saved me, you know, and not just because I lived a lifestyle that it made me kind of go legitimate, but emotionally, internally, and my strength in some ways.
Yeah.
Because if I had not had my child, who knows how long I would have stayed in that relationship.
Yeah.
But I didn't want my son didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
So I kicked his ass out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that made me step up my hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to see my baby watching me fall because I didn't have a man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, we live in this luxurious lifestyle, and I can't do it if he's not here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after a while, I ended up downsizing because it's like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But I basically go for some months on end, so he didn't know what the, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, we need to be closer to down this way. That's our side of town, you know.
Yeah.
But he didn't. I did it in a way to where it wasn't like boom. Boom.
Yeah, super sudden and
Yeah.
super big drop off.
Yeah, it was almost like I did it in a way to where it was like we got rid of the bad guy and we get to live, yay! Like, you know, like kind of like that. But that stuck with me. It was a long time before, like, cause what he would do is he would make me not want to he made me not want to love my body.
So he's like verbally abusive about how you look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm already a modest person. So I remember the first time like I bought lingerie.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home and I was trying to like, do my thing or whatever. And I walked in and he walked up to me and he like pinched the side, like found a spot and pinched it and said, if you just didn't have that. Like, so of course I like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuck with me. It
Yeah.
was years before I ever was even able to like have sex naked. Like I didn't even like let people look at me.
Yeah.
I would not like open up in that way.
Yeah.
And that messes up my relationship.
Yeah.
Like, cause people want to be able to experience you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a while before I realized what the cause was, And
What did you think it was? This like.
it was a number of things because I even had family when I was younger. It started when I was younger, I think, because I actually was a overweight child.
Okay.
So that like you deal with it at school.
Yeah.
And like my family said something to me one day. I didn't even take it in from the school, like the people at school, because kids talk crazy to each other all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when somebody in my family said it, when they said, "Why are you fat? We don't look like that," it stabbed me.
Yeah.
And then everything that anybody had ever said became true in that moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was just living, Like, I
Yeah.
was, like, 8, 9 years old. Like, I was
Yeah.
just living. Like, I didn't think about that. They made me think about that.
Yeah.
So even when I had got skinny, I didn't know it. I would always see it there. Like, and I look at pictures now, and I'm, like, 12 years old, 13 years old, and I'm so skinny.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, how was I that skinny?
Yeah.
But during that time, I thought I was fat.
Because you're preconditioned to think that.
Yeah. So I would find it on my body.
Yeah.
Like, and see that.
Yeah.
So to already have had that and didn't even know it,
Mm-hmm.
but still was trying to like,
Yeah.
like I saw it, but I was still trying to own it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I still felt beautiful,
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah.
And then to be in a relationship where that's something that somebody is attacking me with.
Yeah.
And I went back and I saw pictures during that time and I was bummed. I look better then than I do now. I'm like, dang, I wish he wasn't in her life.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been out here flossing. Like, man. But that's why he did it.
Because he knew that you could do better than him?
And I didn't look at him like that. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
But I think it was because he felt that if I saw that of myself, that it was possible maybe somebody else would take me. Or maybe I'll go big on him and think I'm too good for him. Or have a different attitude.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It
he knew
worked.
that you were insecure about that too, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me for a long time. A long time. I didn't even realize how bad of a problem it was until I got into my relationship with Young B, and he that's how you know when somebody actually does love you.
Yeah.
When they get genuinely angry at you putting yourself down. Genuinely angry at you looking at less of yourself.
Yeah.
Because he would, like, big me up and say certain things, and then I'd be like, all right. Like, I would do it smooth, like, And one day, he was like, it's okay sometimes to be like, I'm that bitch, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to be modest.
Yeah.
But, like, and I'm like, I'm cool. Like, what do you... And he, like, it was like this epiphany moment. I saw it in his face. He was like, you just be playing, right? Like, you just be playing? And I'm like, Like, I didn't want to be like, make it a negative thing. But at the end of the day, I really always kind of had this stigma, like, it's somebody else better out there. Like, you know, I didn't see myself.
Yeah.
I really let situations that I've been through get to me.
Yeah.
And
not even situations, though. It's like the root wasn't even in you. It was the root in other people, and then them planting that in you, like, you know, your family saying you're fat, that we're not fat. That's like the root of that thought is within them. It wasn't even within you. Same with your ex being like, you would look so much better without that. That's a root within him, you know? So it's like, you didn't even ever think you were really that way until other people planted that thought inside of you.
Yeah. And, like, well, I remember one day I like, called myself fat or something. I, like, said something. And he went so hard on me. He went so hard on me.
Yeah.
Like, don't you ever, like, I guess it's what I said or something like that. He went so hard on me. Like, don't you ever talk about yourself like that.
Yeah.
I need you to see you.
Yeah.
Like, I need more men like that to exist. and love women like that. Because there's so many women who never get that.
I know.
Who never get that.
Yeah.
And it's just like... So let me get into narcissism. I realized that my most toxic relationships, including that person, I was with severe narcissists. I had 3 narcissists in my life.
Okay.
And I only recently realized that because one of my friends was trying to escape her relationship.
Okay.
And she was telling me all the signs and everything that she was dealing with a narcissist. And I was like, I went through some of that stuff. So I started intensely, obsessively researching it. Different doctors, different articles, different YouTubes and professionals and this and that. And I have been with 3. My most toxic relationships where I felt like shit. Waking up and going to sleep every day and constant bickering or feeling bad about myself or life. It is anything to do with this exchange. I was with severe narcissists. And let's talk about from specialists that from what I gathered from them, and I'm not a specialist, but just from what I gathered from them, narcissism normally stems from someone that at an adolescent age or at a very vital age in their life, they were neglected.
Yeah.
Something happened to where someone that they admired or looked up to let them down.
Mm-hmm.
And they never wanted to give a person that much power ever again or feel that small ever again. So they created a detachment to people and created a person that they wanted people to see at all times.
Yeah.
Because they never want to be that person again.
Yeah.
So they live their life based on image. Everything that they do and everything that every move that they make is to feed that image and to receive energy and power from others. Because they don't circulate their own emotional flow and self-esteem anymore.
Yeah.
They literally live to get it off of others because they didn't get it when it mattered most. And because of that, their psychology works in a way to where they're never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're entitled.
Yeah.
They know how to flip situations because they normally come off like the most like charming, like amazing people, like perfection.
Yeah.
Like in the your most wildest dreams kind of way.
Yeah.
And then they completely switch on you.
Yeah.
And their whole game is that it was your fault. Like they create like rationalities for it being your fault.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody who's already like in love with somebody, and that does empathize, that is really in this,
Yeah.
they do look into themselves. Like, well, that did happen that day. I guess I shouldn't have tripped like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at, because they really make you look at them like they're really good people. Like, they're amazing. And it just doesn't make sense for somebody to be this and then be this.
Yeah.
So it's like psychologically, you do think like, okay, something happened.
Yeah.
You know? But when you in a relationship, it's normal to look into yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but not if you're the only person doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Totally. Yeah.
And it starts to become a pattern.
Yeah.
Because you realize that you're working on the relationship. They never do. They're never wrong.
Yeah.
And you're lucky to have them.
Yeah.
And then they also they're good at going cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like with the normal person, you would think that's like going inside, and then you try to like get them to come out that shell so that you can work on it or talk or whatever. No, they literally go cold. They're not a normal. They don't have the normal like psychology.
Yeah.
So you're thinking you're dealing with a normal person,
Yeah.
and no. Yeah, they just playing a game. They go cold and they go get supply from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
While you getting into your little sad bubble.
Yeah.
And then they come back and feed you to get your supply again while they playing a game over here.
Yeah.
They're never like loyal people.
Yeah.
They always bounce around. And I thought that was my problem that I was having with them. Like, I thought that I was dealing with people who were cheating.
Yeah.
Or they were just, and the one guy, he was obviously emotionally and verbally abusive.
Yeah.
But the other two acted like they were just great guys and wanted to take care of me and like all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's my fault that I just saw a naked picture in his phone.
It's your fault that he was cheating.
Yeah, it's my fault because of this happened and that made him feel like this about himself. So blah-de blah.
So he's manipulating you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know some people watching right now, it was like, you dumbass.
No, not at all.
It's so funny.
No.
And they're probably just like, but the reality is, if I had not been in that relationship and dealt with those things with those people,
Yeah.
I probably would have thought I wouldn't have dealt with that.
Of course. That's
Like,
how you always feel when you're on the outside of a relationship.
Yeah.
How do you put yourself through that?
Yeah.
You know, I've been in
never.
situations where it's like, when I tell my story, people are like, how did she stay with you? You know? And it's different when you're in it and when you love somebody. It's really different.
It really is. Because you always want to see the best in people.
Yeah.
And where people really get you is how, and once you have invested,
Yeah, exactly.
you invested this much time,
Yeah.
this much of money, or this or that. Like, when your lives start to completely, like, intertwine with people,
Yeah.
it's like, it seems like it makes more sense to try to work it out than to start completely over.
Yeah.
Cause like in your mind, you're thinking, I put in all this work and then I'm gonna move on and they get it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somebody else get all my work.
Yeah, word.
But
Totally.
no,
Yeah.
no. You gotta be okay with being that person that walked away. And if they are like mentally stable, you know, because I dealt with people who were not mentally stable and I did not know that. But
You
even
only knew it when you got out of the relationship and looked back?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in a regular relationship, and it's not good, it's not healthy, you know, it's emotional roller coaster that's sucking you down. 'Cause another thing that people do when you're in a toxic relationship, when you are achieving or you are doing good, they're mad. They find ways to pick at it.
To bring you down, like neg you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my first time going out of town to go and like speak and stuff and get booked, and that was like a big thing for me. He made that process so terrible. Like, finding things to call me and argue about. Like, where were you been and this and that. Like, I'm supposed to just like live and breathe checking in with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm talking to people and this and that. You want to be on live?
Yeah.
Like what? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hitting you up between me doing stuff.
Yeah,
like that's not
possessive
enough.
almost.
Like
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be like, okay, I'm using the bathroom now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm eating breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm walking down the street to the store.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And then on the ride back, I'm so happy. I'm talking about like I had like it was a healing experience. Like I ain't spoken and like and spell and share my art and people were crying.
Awesome.
Like, you know, I'm telling him this and he made it all about him.
Yeah.
And me not calling him and doing this and doing that. And I'm like, where do you talk? And now you cutting me off. You don't respect me.
Yeah.
Like to where it was just like this draining, like horrible, just sickly. Like, you know, I went from being to
brings you back down.
Yeah. But then he's fine once I'm in his presence.
Yeah, then he tries to bring you back up while you're around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like all of that are signs that you're in a toxic relationship. You're in a toxic relationship. And then another sign is when they handle situations differently in front of people than they do away from people. Like when people are around, they're so understanding. And like, it's okay, sweetie, and da-da-da. When you know, if nobody else was around, the whole world will be over right now. And you would be a flea on the edge of a tail.
Yeah.
Like, totally. You know, but that means they know what they're doing.
Yeah. They're like, intelligent about their surroundings. Yeah. Yeah.
That means they're purposely doing it.
Yeah.
And we have to, as people that are beings and want to live a happy life, we have to know how to see that. We have to see it. And whatever person we thought they were, or whatever beautiful, like, internal light that we saw, that's either who they used to be, or that's who they never were, and this is who I'm with.
Yeah. We
gotta be strong enough to say that.
Yeah.
Because usually the worst of what we see is the most. And we holding on to a memory that we ain't seen in so long.
Yeah.
It's like, how long ago was that memory?
Yeah.
Like, what about today, yesterday, last week, the month before, last year?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know now, I mean, you in a good place now. And I'm happy that you have done the things that you needed to do to be in the place that you're in right now.
Thank you.
And I respect that you real enough to say that, you know, you were that person and how you might have affected somebody's life. And even though I don't know what the situation is, and she may not be in your life anymore, but I know somewhere she's proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
I know she is. Because when you love somebody, you always want that better person for them.
Yeah.
You know? You always want them to be their best selves. And at the point in which you know you can't experience that process and that journey with them, like you have to break away.
Yeah. It
doesn't mean we stop wanting that for you.
Yeah.
It does not mean. It just knows that we can't help you.
Yeah.
And we can't die with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well,
we cannot.
That in itself is a tricky thing to really encounter in relationships, because often when you're in a relationship and you're really enmeshed with somebody, you want to help solve their issues. You know, I want to make you happy. Oh, you're an addict. I want to help you get clean. Oh, you're like, you know, physically abusive. Let's find a way to stop this so we can be happy. But then you discover that that's not your job. Your job is not to help somebody get clean, get better, you know, like fix their issues. You can only take care of yourself and be there for your partner as much as you can, but it's not your job to solve their issues.
Yeah.
So, nowadays, in relationships, how do you approach them? Since you've had experience with toxic relationships.
I look at patterns.
Okay.
I take my time and I look at patterns, because patterns never lie.
Yeah.
Like, people create patterns in how they handle stuff, how they speak.
Yeah. Things
that they say and they plant.
Yeah.
And how they move, you know. And narcissists they normally come on very strong. They come on. That's one thing. I really sat down one day and I looked at all their similarities, so that I know I don't end up in another relationship like that.
Yeah. Do you think, since you've been in, you said 3,
Mm-hmm.
Do you think...
It was 2 overt and 1 covert. The difference between those, the overt narcissists are kind of like more outward, like, oh, like, look at me, like flashy, and like want to be on the scene, and like you know, the covert, they come off shy and humble, and they're more dangerous to me.
For sure, because you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And that feels safe.
Yeah.
Like, somebody who's all flashy and stuff, you're already like, eh. Like, you know.
Yeah. You know.
But somebody who's not, like, you automatically, it creates a more safe environment. And then what makes it even scarier is once they know that you see who they are, they do what's called the smear campaign. And what a narcissist smear campaign is, it's not like how the normal person gets mad at they person and they tell their friend, like, they not shit, and blah-de-blah. Yeah. No. They always come about their smear campaign in a way as if they feel for you. Like, they just kept doing this, and I just wanted them to be better, and blah-de-blah, so I worked with them on this or that. And they normally will try to relate with people on what their views of relationships and stuff like that is.
Yeah.
And you'll lose a lot of friends. You can lose family members. You can have people really looking at you in a certain way because of how they move. Because, mind you, they live off of their image.
Yeah.
So people already see them as good people. So what they say matters.
Yeah.
And if they're talking to people before you even realize that y'all having a problem,
yeah,
because they'll start early. You know, while you over here thinking you in a regular relationship.
Yeah.
Like, we just going through something today.
Yeah.
You know, and you like, oh, you so full of yourself. Like, fuck with you. But you back with them tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
But they take it in. Like, oh, you're not fucking with me. They're going to tell people about who I am. They start planting seeds and doing stuff. And by the time the relationship actually is over, you're a horrible person.
Because they
don't even bring their name up.
Yeah.
Because people already are ready to take up for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They create a protective shield of them.
Yeah.
So that makes your process even harder. Because the level of I don't care what people think has to be up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it has to be, you have to really be at a point to where it's like, fuck that negativity. Fuck what everybody else thinks. And if you don't care about me, or you taking the time to look bad or look down on me, and you don't know what I went through, and you didn't even ask, I don't need you anyway. And you gotta not care. And you gotta really walk away and want to just be happy.
Yeah. Like,
your happiness has to overshine everything.
Self-love.
Self-love. Yep. That's the only way to fight it.
Yeah.
Because somebody cannot downplay and continuously talk bad about somebody who doesn't talk bad about them. Who doesn't focus on them. Who is living life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening is they jump right into another relationship. Because narcissists don't stay by themselves.
Yeah.
They don't know how.
Yeah.
They jump right into another one, and it's the same pattern.
Yep.
It's the same pattern. And people close enough to you, everybody sees patterns. You know? So anyway, in today's time, I first and foremost, if somebody's coming on too strong, and especially if I'm trying to, like, take my time or this or that, like, it's a certain level of, it's a thin line between going after what you want and courting someone and invading your wants and needs. And, like, almost to where, like, they'll almost go past their own self-respect to bombard you with this glorifying image of what you should want, and you should get it from them because this is like destiny.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's how they come off in the beginning, and they will do anything.
Yeah.
Anything to impress you, or they will say anything to get you to look at them or be with them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I noticed that it's a difference between the men that I actually was in a healthy relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of shot they shot, you know, and I bit or I didn't.
Yeah.
And then when I did, we vibed,
Mm-hmm.
or we went out, and it flowed. However, it flowed.
Yeah.
It wasn't a overly obnoxious need for this to happen.
Yeah.
And for you to see. It wasn't because they weren't trying to push onto me. They trying to check me out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a regular person is trying to check you out like you trying to check them out.
Yeah.
Because if they want and see how serious they want to take you to begin with. Like, you don't just go strong head over heels for somebody you just met.
Yeah, it's like you don't even know them.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what always confuses me about that. It's like, especially, I mean, I don't know if you've like tried the dating apps or anything like that, but that whole world, because I'm like,
it's so hard being a battle rapper. I for sure thought about it.
Why you think being on
somebody
dating
gonna be like, somebody will come out in the battle and be like, "Is this you?"
Yeah, but what the like? What I mean, like,
so you.
So what? You date like a normal person? I don't know, like. But the thing about that's so funny to me is like that like anybody can like that's just based on attraction. It's like that person that you're maybe not that attracted to could be like the most amazing person. Yeah. You could have this great energy between, but you'll fucking never know because you're like, I don't like, dark hair or something like that. Mm-hmm. Something silly. But yeah, you're right. Somebody that comes on too strong, there's something like little, questionable about that. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, like, so the toxic elements in your past relationships, do you have trouble not bringing them into your new ones?
I haven't had a lot of new ones.
Okay.
Because I see so many things. I'm a see the red flag and don't waste my time person.
Word.
Like I believe and listen to my intuition.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem being by myself.
Yeah, so that's where the self-love comes in.
Yeah, I choose my happiness over settling over something that my intuition is ringing.
Yeah.
And then it goes bad, and then I'm drained, and I have a child.
Yeah.
Like I don't have room for any more toxic relationships.
Yeah.
He needs to see the best of things, or it's just us riding it out.
Yeah.
But in dating in general, I haven't. In my past relationships, I have, like I told you, I did bring some things in that affected me and made me more insecure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that affected my relationships. I kind of got out of that, and I was in a good place with Young B. After that, I went to another place. Honestly, I think it made me better.
Yeah.
I honestly do.
Yep.
Because I see things and I don't feel nothing about brushing people away. Mm-hmm. I don't get into relationships.
Yeah.
I don't, because I realize I've been in the majority of my relationships in my life. I didn't even start off liking them. Like, I let people put me in a relationship.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, and the two people that I actually chose was the loves of my life.
Yeah.
And it was healthy.
Yeah.
So I took the time with myself.
Yeah.
Like, a long time. I've been spending time with myself. I'm okay with me.
That's great. That's amazing.
And in that time, I was able to dissect every relationship I've had, and take from it what I loved about it, what I didn't, and the similarities of the negatives and the positives.
Yeah.
And on the positives, which was only 2 healthy relationships that I've had.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a good track record. Right
yeah.
there.
And one of them, I messed up. I'm not even going to lie. I was too young. Mm-hmm. And one of them, he passed away.
Yeah.
So it's a natural connection, Mm-hmm. Like you said, maybe you weren't like attracted to them per se, the norm or what you expected to be attracted to or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know for me, it's an internal attraction.
Yeah.
A connection when we speak.
Yeah.
And it's a natural flow that happens. It doesn't feel forced.
Yeah.
That forcing feeling, I run from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah. Like, I don't care what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're showing me.
Yeah.
Do it with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because this is right. This is always right. And whatever it is that I'm seeing, your little pet peeves and little stuff that you pick at or this or that, I can tell patterns and signs of what it'll become.
Mm-hmm.
And I know sometimes people say, oh, well, that's conflicting with what your future can be, or you're not giving people a chance. When we sit down and have a conversation, that's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if the energy is not there, it's not there.
It's not there.
You know?
Or if I see something that I saw before, I see it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go down this whole path because you nice.
Yeah.
Or we got something in common.
Yeah. Or you're just hoping for something. You're like,
yeah.
give him a chance. Oh, I'm just hoping to spark, you know.
Yeah.
Like a year in, you're like, I'm hoping that spark
I've been in relationships like that where I'm trying to create the love.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm rationalizing why I should be here.
Totally.
And then they end up being the ones to be like, oh, you know, feeling themselves.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, I tried to make myself like you.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Totally.
No.
And you're probably even more knowledgeable about that because you've been through 2 really healthy, great relationships that made you grow so much that you can be like, that's the real love.
That's
right
what I
there.
need. Yeah. And that's the hard part for the average human.
Because they don't have that.
They don't have
They've
that.
never
They don't have
experienced
that
that.
experience to
Yeah.
go to and know. You know what? I'm that's the voila moment.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Because I talk to people sometimes and like I believe in love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in like connections
Yeah.
between people.
Yep.
Like it's not a they look good type of thing. I believe in it's something else.
Yeah, it's an energy.
You know, it's an energy
Yeah.
that, and then as it starts to unfold, you realize what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you forcing in the beginning, then trying to figure out is there a connection.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
connection should come first.
Yeah, for real.
And I've met people who have been married, got married in like 3 months. For real, and was happy.
That's amazing.
Happy.
That's incredible.
Like been together 50 years.
Wow.
And I have met people who were together 8 years.
Yeah.
Then got married and was divorcing too.
Yeah, word.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that means they just said it like, oh, I've been with this person this long.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I might not get nobody else that do these things.
Yeah.
Let me just do it.
Yeah.
And they got friends who feel the same way.
Yep.
Because they never experienced it.
Yeah.
Me, because I was lucky enough to experience it, and I'm going to tell y'all the same thing, like, it's out there. Like, don't settle and don't waste your time or somebody else's time, because you'll never get the fulfilling relationship that you can have and enjoy life together with that partner, because you're both, you connecting somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then you just kind of, like, dudding out.
Yeah.
You're dudding out. And
also, you have a great amount of self-love that you're
you
exercising.
gotta love yourself, because that's what happens too.
Yeah.
At points in which I did attract that,
Mm-hmm.
I was in a great place.
Yep.
You attract what you are.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
So if you like in love with life, you
Yep.
love yourself, you
Yep.
love what you do,
Yep.
and you just living, because it always happens when you don't expect it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Then you just meet somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, duh, it's
Yeah.
like you trying to get away from it. Like you are, be like, that's normally what happens.
Yeah.
Instead of you trying to be like, well, let me.
Yeah.
And force it, you really be like, nah, this seemed too good. Like, man, something gotta be wrong.
Yeah, word. Word.
But yeah, like it's all comfortable being with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the problem that a majority of people have.
Because they're not.
They're not.
They're just like, I need to be with somebody because that's what you're supposed to do is,
Yeah.
have a companion.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they end up in a relationship for 8 years. And like, well, what's next? I guess we got to get married.
Yeah, just going with the flow because they feel
Yeah.
like this is what life is supposed to be.
Yep.
And being by themselves, they actually feel lonely. And being alone does not have to come with loneliness.
No, not at all.
It does not.
Yeah.
Like, you can live life and be happy and attract happiness.
Yeah.
because that's how energy works.
100%.
You know, like you attract what you are.
Yep.
And but the only problem with that is the flip side is people who don't have that, they attract to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Energy sucker, that's what I'm talking about, them narcissists.
Yeah.
Because they want your energy supply.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to notice that too.
Yeah.
Like if people are sucking your life force.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and once you feel that, you gotta let it go.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, it's crazy. Dating is insane, and definitely I think one of the most powerful things you said is like how much you grew from those toxic relationships. You know, having the ability to go through pain and learning more about yourself is a really powerful thing, you know?
Yeah, and I noticed that a lot of people don't do that either. It's a process. It's almost like grieving when you end a toxic relationship or a relationship in general, because first you have to accept that it's over.
Yeah.
And that this is happening, you know, and then you think about all the good times.
Yeah.
And then you miss them.
Yep.
And then if you can get past that and not go back, then you remember the more recent. And you start to think about all the stuff that you went through and how it made you feel.
Yeah.
And then you get so sad, you get angry, and then you just be like, fuck this shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what do I want to do today?
Yeah.
And then you start to heal.
Yeah.
But people are afraid to go through the worst of the process before the healing. And they in another relationship before they even get to the healing process.
Yeah.
Because people try to numb the pain by getting attention from other people.
Just patching it.
Yeah.
Patchwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that person that you're in a relationship with now don't get the best of you.
Yep.
They don't even get what this could have been.
Yeah.
Because you just jumping into something.
Yeah.
And then people like they sometimes they do it through sex. They try to like just, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now you exchanging all this other energy with these people. Like it's an energy exchange.
Yeah, it is.
So now you holding their issues, your issues.
Yeah.
When you by yourself, you don't love it, and you drinking.
Yeah.
Like, so you can call somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't about to sit here and do this. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is, my advice to anyone who is in a toxic relationship. First and foremost, don't allow them to isolate you from people that love you, and or activities that make you happy or make you grow. Anybody who wants to take you away from love, happiness, and growth has your worst intent, and you need to get away. You need to get away, and you need to continue to fight for your happiness and your peace and your healing. And if they can't be a part of that, you got to make that decision. For real.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's about an hour. Big thank you to SO Finesse. You're such an amazing woman. I'm always so happy to have you on the show. You bring stuff to the table that I'm so glad that you can discuss, especially with your own experience, and I'm sure a lot of people out there appreciate it a lot.
Yeah,
So.
and I appreciate you for having me every time.
Of course.
I didn't even know I was gonna cry today. I'm like, okay,
I
at least
love
I'm
it.
talking about something today, and I'm over and this and that. But thank you guys, whoever is watching, and hopefully something that we talked about today related with you and can help, you know. And again, thank you, Avo, for having me.
Of course. SO Finesse, everybody. Hopefully she's back soon. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.